Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com, where pop culture gets blasted. And we are once again going back to the well for crowdfunded comic books. And we have a very special guest with us tonight. We have Mr. Jose Garcia. Jose, welcome to the show.
Hello, RJ. Hello, chat. Hope you're doing fine on this very cool day and of launching comics and stuff. So I hope we have a really great time.
I think we will. I'm glad I got the right guess. I'm going to put myself on even footing here. That way it looks a little more balanced.
Yeah.
But I told Jose before the chat that y'all let me down out there in Chatland. I had the absolute wrong link and everything in my YouTube that I was putting all over Twitter, and nobody bothered to tell me. Nobody bothered to tell me that I was accidentally and very inadvertently advertising that we were apparently going to have Jose Luis Garcia Lopez on the show tonight. I was like, no, that's the other guy that I grew up with reading his books.
He has like 40 or he had like 20 or 40 more plus years on me.
Oh, but you know, he's the house style for DC, or he was the house style for DC.
Yeah, he's really awesome. Actually, I've been. It's funny because I've been mistaken for all of my career with Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and I met him. He has come to Mexico a few times, and we have chat. And every time we meet, like we have like very similar names. I always tell him like, I've been getting. I'm kind of. Like in contact with him because some people try to send emails to my stuffs of awards he has won, and I have to forward them back to him, and we have had a laugh about that. And when we meet in person, it's like he always told me like, any new mail for me, man? And that's funny, but don't worry, man. It happens.
Every once in a while on the show, we have author James D. Lee to talk about pop culture with us. And he tells the story of how, he had to change his name because he was going to conventions as Jim Lee. And suddenly there was this other Jim Lee showing up. It was not him.
Oh, man.
But it's I imagine once you got involved with DreamWorks especially, your name was a lot more prominent on Google searches when people were trying to find somebody to send things to. So you probably pop up a lot more easily than if you were just, like Jose Garcia working, 9-to-5 job in the car factory or something.
Oh, well, you might think so, but actually my work at DreamWorks was very much like if you're most of the work you do, I was working on visual development, storyboard, IP development. So most of us guys who are working there, creating stuff, most of the time you have an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, where you cannot show most of the work you're doing. So even though I was working in DreamWorks, I cannot even show any of my work on it for I don't know I haven't been able to show anything because of my NDAs, but I did work on Voltron, on Kung Fu Panda, on the holiday specials, on How to Train Your Dragon, the Guardians of Berk series, VeggieTales, and been doing some stuff for Netflix. There's gonna be Magic the Gathering animated shorts that I had the pleasure. Yeah, that's a storyboard. That was my last gig at Netflix. And yeah, I've been doing comics and stuff. I've been working on the YA scene. I did some work for heavy metal, did some work for first, second books. One of my latest gigs was Comixology originals. I was working for uh, with some guys, writer of the Godzilla comics. Yeah, I've been working on lots of stuff. And some of it's public, like the comics and stuff. But most of my career on animation, because I've been on Cartoon Network, I did some stuff for Adventure Time, for regular show, even some backgrounds and layouts for Steven Universe, and all my animation career. It's kind of like in the dark. It's really weird working in animation because everyone like kind of know each other. So it's not like you have to be the most public person ever to get a job, but yeah, all of my other stuff you can see public.
Cool. I'm surprised that even the stuff is still protected by an NDA after the films have come out. It would seem like okay, you're not spoiling anything now. Show it away.
Oh yeah,
let people see what you've done. But
oh yeah, there's different deals for that because the animation industry is kind of it has kinds of his own black ops deals. I must say that yeah, man, and I'm kind of involved in that because when you have like production, like I don't know, like let's say Nickelodeon contracts. They say like we're gonna do like this series Avatar, but then they are not doing all of this in house, so they hire another studio, and the other studio puts all the work, and it comes. But the one who published it's Nickelodeon, right? So the only two studios credited there are the main studio who they hired and Nickelodeon. But more often than not, these studios that get hired by Nickelodeon, they get behind because they are working on lots of stuff too. So they hire other smaller studios. So you're working, they Nickelodeon hired them and they hired you. So in order to
subcontracting.
Yep, subcontracting. So in order to don't look bad in the eyes of Nickelodeon, they do these NDAs where these smaller studios cannot tell anyone or show anything because if they do, obviously Nickelodeon will say, why if these little studios are doing all the work, why have the middlemen?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So the NDAs are to protect the contractors from losing their jobs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, man.
Okay, that's a comic book in and of itself. Black Ops animation.
Yep.
Just as it go on there. So you've done some work in comic books before, but
yes.
Is Lumina Vhox your first solo outing?
Actually, no. This is kind of my maybe seventh comic book. I'm from Mexico, so I've been trying to do indie comics all my life. The thing is that I grew up reading comics, reading manga, but the comic scene that kind of grabbed my attention, that got me into comics, was the cliffhanger era, where Joe Madureira and Chris Bacalo, Humberto Ramos, they were doing their own IPs, their own stuff. So I grew up with Battle Chasers, reading Steampunk by Chris Bacalo, and Crimson and Out There by Humberto Ramos. And my idea of comics was always like, I did have like Spider-Man and Batman and Superman, but my idea with comics, getting with this cliffhanger kind of movement, is that you could actually get into comics, and if you became like a superstar like these guys, you could actually do your own IP, not just roll like Spider-Man on all these company heroes, but actually do your own thing. And that's where my love for comics come from, because seeing that it was possible, I mean, that was like really really cool. And reading manga and seeing all these amazing stories with all these new characters, so that's what I wanted to do. And so yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know, that's where I come from.
Yeah, it's a thing I've noticed. I'm the white guy in America, okay, and I'm paying attention to comics because I've been reading them for 50 years now.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a style from Mexico and Hispanic comics, just like there's a style from Japan and manga comics. Japan's got the round mouths and the big eyes.
Yes.
But the artists from Mexico, and I'm not going to say Mexico because some of them could be Hispanic from other areas, but like Humberto Ramos, there's that style where it's sort of the shorter body and the bigger feet and the sort of a cartoon style to it. Is that pretty prevalent in the books you buy domestically there? Maybe stuff that doesn't make it to the States?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing is that here in Mexico, like getting comics like Spider-Man and Superman, we don't really have like a lot of comic stores. In Mexico City, there's we are like it's the capital of Mexico, right? So there's only 3 comic book stores here in Mexico, so that will give you an idea.
Wow.
I didn't know it was there was a comic book shop until I was like 15, 16 years old, and the cliffhanger era was coming up. But before that, you could get your comics from the newsstand. They didn't sell like singles. I remember buying the Death of Superman, and my dad bought that to us, but they were already like trade paperbacks, and they came out like obviously they came like way years later than in the US. So what they did is that they had like these 100 pages trade paperbacks that were kind of like monthly, and they have like this really huge backlog of all these American comics, and that's how you get your comics. But there was no specialized store. If you weren't into the know, you couldn't get what was new in American comics. So we were always behind. So the thing is that when I was growing up, manga had like a bigger impact here in Mexico than before the US. And we have like animated series. We have anime way before the US. Like we had Dragon Ball, but the first Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, while I was growing up. So we have these long-term animated stories, because Dragon Ball was like 136 chapters, and it was those weren't like Sunday cartoons. They actually have a story. They have like you need to see, if you want to follow the story, you need to go to episode 1, 2, 3, and then go on. Whereas in the comic cartoons, you could see a one-off episode, and maybe sometime they have like a two-parter, but it was like really weird. Really, it wasn't like the norm at the time. So here in Mexico, we grew up with lots of anime, with lots of these really long-term stories told within like hundreds of chapters. These really huge epic tales. We have like Knights of the Zodiac, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and even before that, we had all Messenger Z and all this kind of stuff. So that's when I was growing up as a kid, and so that really stick with people. We really love our Mexican dubs for that. And the thing is that we had comics, but at the same time we had on TV these more flashy series. So manga came here earlier. We actually have a version of Akira, the movie by Katsuhiro Otomo. We had it dubbed in Spanish, and it's one of the best. I love it more in Spanish than in Japanese because I grew up with that, and and we have manga way before that. So everyone, even the guys who were going to in 92, 95 to San Diego Comic Con, we have already manga influences here. With here, some editorials were already, some publishers were already, publishing manga in Spanish. So yeah, I believe that was a huge influence on us.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. So you've decided, obviously, that crowdfunding is the way to go for you now.
Yes. Yeah, I actually quit my job at Dreamworks. Well, I not quit, but I did not renew my contract. I'm a freelance artist. I didn't renew my contract with whether with Dreamworks or Netflix because if you have been working as long as I have, I've been working 14 years of my life in the comics on the corporate side of stuff. Been working, making dreams come true for other people. I would say. After all these years, I mean, I have my own stories, and every time I will draw my own stuff. But I was seeing that this path of corporate comics, that maybe all this path of animation, even though it helped me a lot, it wasn't getting me where I wanted. So I had to, kind of review my life, where I was going, and I said, like, if I have to keep doing this corporate life, I will become super jaded with drawing, with making art, and I will eventually lose all interest, all the passion I have. So that's what I decided to quit, because it was starting to get super dull. I know if you have seen all the new media and stuff, they are going into a very woke, very path I don't really like. Very I don't know. Stories aren't that cool. So I was there. I was having like a really this cool check every week. In animation they pay weekly, and they pay very very generous. More for a guy from like me that it's in Mexico, so dollars are they buy a lot more things in Mexico. So
yeah,
I was really comfortable, but at the same time I actually believe my soul was dying. I was just getting bitter and bitter, and I was getting super tired. And I remember that when they said, like, when I got my job at Dreamworks, like the first 5 minutes were like, yes, Dreamworks, I finally made it to the top. And then when you realize that it's only another job, that got sour like really quick. So, but the thing is that I decided to go back to making my own IPs, to believe in myself, and just starting to pump out comics, because even though I study animation and all these things, I only have been working on the with these companies, with everything, in order to work on my own comics. I don't want to do an animated series. Even though I'm an animator, I want to make comics. I want to solely devote my life to telling the stories I want to tell, and to bring as much, do as much work as I can while I can.
Yeah, make the comics, let somebody else animate them.
Yes, for sure.
Just pay you for the right to do it.
Well, exactly.
Speaking of animation, you've got a video here for this new campaign you've kicked off here. We're going to give it a quick play and take a look at Lumina Vhox and introduce it to our viewers here.
I don't know how it happened, but that thing found its way into us. It took everything from me. I'm not sure how, but I'm gonna take it back. What is alumina? If you want to know, find out by backing. Only on Indiegogo.
All right, that's a very I was going to say it's a very good animation. There's another word for it, very surreal. That's what I was trying to dig for.
yeah. Everyone tells me that. The themes in this comic will be, things I like eldritch gods and stuff. So eldritch horror, adventures, and it's kind of funny that it's all done in this cartoony style, right?
Yeah, well, that was exactly the word I was going to hone in on too, was eldritch, because the only time I ever see that used is with H.P. Lovecraft.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to ask, is there a Lovecraft influence going on in here?
Yes, for sure. There's a Lovecraftian, influence, but I'm not using any of the gods from his mythology, so you won't have any Cthulhu or Azaroth or some of those guys. This is kind of like a mixture of those ideas. The cosmic horror has been one of the things I love the most. Kind of like if you when it's implemented, and that when it's done right and mixed, and it can be mixed with other stories, I believe it's super cool. There's one anime going right now that it's called Attack on Titan, and it has this eldritch element in which there's something unknown that may destroy the entire humanity, right? So I heard the author of this manga saying that he liked Lovecraft, and he tried to implement that into a battle manga, and we got Attack on Titan, so that was really cool. And most of the mangas I like have this really cosmic horror that it's unimaginable what lies out there, and I believe that's really cool, and I wanted to implement that into my own stories.
Well, it does look like I'm seeing some tentacles on the cover here reaching.
I will put some of them whenever I can.
But tentacle things are truly I mean, even biologists, who don't go into the whole alien thing. Yeah, well, you know how everything's got we're human beings and chimpanzees are like 3% of the DNA away from being the same thing, and everything shares DNA with something else. Like, dogs and cats both have this deep gene that makes them grow 4 legs or whatever. Octopus have nothing in common with nothing else. So and they're just how'd they evolve? They're just here, and they just showed up.
Yes, and they're smart, because I've seen a lot of these experiments on octopuses, then how they leave them like in these aquariums, and those guys always find a way to get out there, and it's like really creepy the way they do it, because they scheme, they kind of like they fake being dead, they are smart, and they trick their way out of the aquarium. So and that with you said that it's not like they don't have like much commonality with anything else on Earth. That's really creepy, right?
Yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, not even with other fish. So what's the deal here? We'll figure it out someday, I'm sure.
Yep.
So let's take a look at some of the perks you've got here. Well, before we do that, let's just talk about the story, because we've got the young girl, and basically through the narration we know that something took something from her, and she's going to go get it back.
Yes.
Can you dig a little deeper into that without giving away the story?
For sure. Well, what basically happens is that The story kind of begins with a ritual where some strange cabal tries to put this eldritch god inside of this little girl for unknown reasons, but something goes wrong, and she kinds of the ritual goes wrong, and it destroyed the whole planet, and the eldritch god gets put inside of her, but it's not fully awakened. Um, the god kind of wants to come out into the physical realm, but in order to do that, it needs souls. It needs power, enough power to come to life, right? But the thing is that the ritual went wrong, and it left this little girl kind of trapped inside of her. While in the physical realm, you can see this body of this little girl being possessed by these eldritch powers, and basically the eldritch god is kind of taking control over her physical body, and it's trying to destroy planets and swallow souls until it can come to life, but inside of this, while everything, all of this is happening in the physical plane, inside of her, let's say her soul, she can interact with the eldritch god. And the thing here is that she will need to tame this god because the thing is that she's a child. She doesn't have like this really solid moral compass, and the thing is that she loved her family. That's the thing that this god took from her, and all the souls of their family are still quote unquote alive inside of the core of this eldritch god, where it's harvesting all these energies. But the thing is that every time the god destroys a planet and swallows the souls, the eldritch god core opens, and that's the only time when Mia, the main character of this book, can see her family, can interact with them. So she will try to gain control of her body, but the moral dilemma is that after maybe she when she's keeping all these powers under control, she has to fight the need to swallow more souls, because that's the only time she can see her family, and she really misses them so much. So if she swallows a lot of souls, eventually the eldritch god inside of her will pop into reality and just destroy all her family and all the souls within it, and even Mia herself.
So there's a big trade-off there, and some selfishness basically on her part to do those things just to see her family again. I mean, not just to see her family, but there's a strong tie to family, and the moral ambiguity of swallowing other people's souls, killing them, so to speak.
Yeah, and she's a child, so she hasn't really. She's like maybe 5 or 7, I believe.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so she hasn't spent a lot of time with in a society, so she can have like this really strong moral compass. So one of the things that happens in the comic is that in between, when she regains control of her body, due to an incident that happened in the comics, you can see how she gets eager every time she sees the god. It's hungry and it's gonna swallow a planet. So you can see her actually cheering because she can see her family.
It's like cheering for Galactus, but and keeping with the Marvel analogy there, it's kind of like giving the Phoenix Force to Katie Powers of Power Pack.
yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the tiers here we've got on this. You got your featured tier, which is Selfish Lumina. And I think I just described her as that a little bit.
Yep.
So we got the PDF. So there is a digital version, folks out there in the chat who are always clamoring for, do you sell digital? Yes, he has a digital.
Yes.
And you can get the physical along with that. The
Mhm.
My 8-Bit Storybook. What is that?
Yeah, for sure. If you go a little back, a little down on the campaign, I'm offering. I was offering four books on this campaign, some of my previous works, and I'm offering three three books. Uh, Beside Lumina box, one called My 8-Bit Story. That's a story about a girl who just wants to. She just traveled her old Game Boy games. That's the art, and that's 104. And 60 pages. I always say, 140. Uh, but it's 160 pages of art. There's no dialogue. It's a silent story. I did that just to prove myself that I could do comics a while ago. That was maybe done 8 years ago. And that book actually got me my work with Dreamworks and with first second books. I tried to crowdfund this in Mexico with little luck, but I actually came forth and put the rest of the money. The campaign wasn't successful, but I put the rest of the money and printed anyway. Um, and I then later on I start selling it and sent at San Diego Comic Con, and that's where there's where Headhunter from DreamWorks come to my stand, and she kind of bought like 5 volumes, and I was hired on the spot, and then
Nice.
yeah, that was cool. And I went to the first second books booth. I wanted to work there, and I bring the book, and they also hired me on the spot. That was like 10 minutes apart, so that was a really good Comic Con from me, because I also got some work for Capcom for doing official merch for Street Fighter, and I actually got to do a contact to do some official stuff for schoolgirls and all these kind of cool fighting games that I like.
Very cool. Yeah, you had to leave Comic-Con earlier. You wouldn't have any days left in the week to work.
Yeah.
Everybody's hiring you up.
Yeah.
The other book I saw in the featured tier was this Egoista.
Yes, Egoista. That's the tier. The 50 tier dollar tier has my 8-Bit Story, Lumina box, and Egoista. Egoista was a comic that won a contest here in Mexico. The judge was Leah Moore. She is the daughter of Alan Moore, and she was here in Mexico, and she picked like 4 winners. I was one of them, and it's a 90-page story about what if portals, just randomly some portals starting appearing in the world. And in Egoista, which means selfish, we kind of see how the world reacts to them. There's a lot of social media critique and stuff. All this was maybe at 2013, before the SJWs were coming strong. I was noticing a lot of these kind of attitudes in Mexico, in the US. So this is my first attempt and my first kind of thoughts on this. While instead of talking about minorities, they talk about these portals, right? There are some guys, this we call them white chickens, who are these very wealthy elites, like leftists here in Mexico, that kind of are marching for the rights of the portals, that they should get a vote, even though they're just like this strange portal that just appear out of nowhere and stuff. So that's kind of that. That's a 19-page book. It's printed on Spanish because it was made for a contest in Mexico. But I will be you will get the physical copy in Spanish, but I will be translating the PDF to English for this campaign.
Okay, so you said that's 90 page?
Yep, 90 page plus 160 from my 8-bit story plus 80 from Lumina Vhox.
That's a lot of trees
Yep.
coming down for this thing, and for $50 US, that's a steal for 3 books of that size. Plus, you're getting the PDFs of each one.
Yes.
Dreaded Dinosaur in the chat. How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. Appreciate you being here.
Hey,
so
Dreaded
you've already
Dinosaur. He's really cool.
already had 18 people grab those, and I'm not surprised at all. Of course, for $10, you can get the digital of Lumina.
Yes.
So again, Robert Roberts, George Gatsis, this is your digital copy. This is where you click, because this is what the only things you buy I know is digital. And then you got the free signature add-ons here. So what are we doing here? We've got the PDF and the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said free optional signature. So you're basically everything else can be added on after you pick the book, right?
Yeah, my campaign is like really lean. I just have like maybe 5 tiers, and it's there's only like book bundles, and you can actually have get some sketch cards from original art on the add-ons. Later on the campaign, I will be adding a lot more stuff, but I'm just testing the waters, see how. Since it's my first campaign here, in the US with an US audience, I'm just testing the waters here. But if everything goes well, I will be adding tons more of merch and probably more books. I have concept art for Lumina Vhox, so I will make a supplemental little book if everything goes well. I can send you a link of that, a little bit later, so we can see that art. But
stretch goals.
Yeah, those are stretch goals.
And then for $40, you can get the 2 books together with the PDFs, and then the 3 books. Well, we just saw that one. That's the one up above. That's the featured tier for $50. Somebody's already cleaned you out of these 18 racing luminas. What was in that made it so hot and so quick?
Oh yeah, so the last book that I had on this campaign was called Trucus Maximus. That's the book I did for first, second books. That's a 280 pages book of racing. This was done alongside writer and DC editor Scott Peterson. If you don't know who it is, he's the guy who invented or brought back Cassandra Cain from Batman. So he wrote. If you are familiar with Batman No Man's Land,
very much.
Yep. When the miniseries that came out of it from Cassie Cain from Batgirl, that was written by Scott Peterson. So we pair up together with this to make this post-apocalyptic scenario of what if the Roman Empire never fell, and we are focusing on the kind of this Roman Colosseum, but here, instead of having gladiators, we have like races to the death, and we have the story of Axel and Piston and all of the Team Apollo. And this little story about this insight about how they live their lives and how they risk their lives for the entertainment of the people.
All right. Well, yeah, I can see why that one went quickly then. And as far as testing the waters go, you've been live for 2 days, and you're 80% funded for a $7,000 goal. I'd say the water's just fine.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. It's been. I'm stoked. I'm pretty stoked about this. I didn't know what to expect, because as I told you before, when I tried to crowdfund like 6 years ago, my 8-bit story, I only had like in 90 days, I was pushing super hard. I was doing live streams. I was doing all the works, but I only got to 3K. So, and that was in 90 days. So I to be honest, I got a little bit jaded. So that's why I didn't go to crowdfunding, after that. I got my work at DreamWorks. I kind of become complacent with my work, but up until now, I just had the itch to tell my stories because I have tons of IPs that I'm working on.
Our wrench just showed up. I told him I know where we rank. He was just on with Billy Tucci and then went to Joe Catapano, and now he's finally here. Yeah, I know where we rank with these guys. But yeah, so you got mentioned by EVS last night.
I'm actually working with him.
You are working with what are you working with EVS on?
Cyberfrog 3.
Oh.
I am doing a book for Cyberfrog 3. It's his character Lily.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a story about that. I have some pieces done, that I was commissioned by E10, and we'll be having I believe it's a big book coming for the Cyberfrog 3 campaign. So yeah, I'm kind of part of All Caps Comics right now, so that's really cool. And meanwhile, while I wait for E10, I'm doing the things I love, my own stuff.
Yeah, you've got a very soft palette on all of these pictures here. I mean, it's very pastel kind of thing. This image right here. Have you ever watched that American television comedy called Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yes, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, there's an episode where his mother gets into sculpture, and she sculpts this big sailboat-like statue of something, and she wants it in the living room of the house. And she's the only one in the world who can't see what it looks like. And I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, yeah, Marie Romano's sketch is right here in the very center of this page. It's gorgeous, but it looks like something. And
yeah, it looked like something. Yeah,
I'm
for
just gonna
sure.
leave it there.
If you look closely, there's a lot of hands in the background. There's
yeah, they're floating around here.
Yep, and
that
somebody
doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better.
Yeah. Well, let's say that's a representation of an eldritch god, kind of like what I have in mind. It's like this is what Mia, the main character's nightmares are kind of like. In my point of view, when somebody in a story is presented with a god figure, what I like to all the story. What I've seen that I like in some anime, manga, or some stories, it's that whenever someone sees a god, everyone see that figure differently. Like what a representation of that is on their mind. Like I really love this manga called Gantz, and well, major spoiler, yeah, they meet kind of like God, and there's a ton of characters. And some people, when they see God, they all see kind of different faces, and not everyone see the same stuff, So that's what I'm kind of going for here.
Yeah, it's kind of like also Stephen King's It. Everybody saw something different. They saw what they were afraid of. And here, people see what their mind concocts to deal with what it is that they're seeing.
Exactly. Herrenberg is saying, Jose, it reminds us somewhat of Miyazaki. Are you big fan of classics like Nausicaa? Yeah, I actually have the box set of the manga here. I have the storyboards for the movie. I have every Ghibli Studios art book. I haven't been yet to Japan, but I would love to go to the Ghibli Museum. And I actually love the other Miyazaki, the guy from the games, from Software, from Dark Souls. So if you like Dark Souls, if you like Bloodborne, I'm going a lot for that kind of storytelling.
Yeah, the color study here on this is just fantastic.
Thanks.
What drove the color choices here? I mean, this is not your green grass, blue sky kind of deal here. You pick things on purpose. I know as an artist, you try to evoke sensations through the color choices. So what were you going for with this one?
Yeah. So in a lot of my goings to San Diego Comic-Con, I met tons of time with Guillermo del Toro, who It's really cool, a really cool
Name
guy,
dropper.
and yeah, name drop. And we've been talking a lot. He's really cool with all Mexicans. I mean, we can go and talk Spanish, and he's been always so cool, so supportive. So in these talks with Guillermo, I always ask him that I always notice that his color palettes on his movies are like really cool. But we were talking about this, and some of this team pops out that when I was an upcoming artist, and I was thinking about color, and I've seen all these these videos, this art book that they say that these colors have some psychology, right? Like red has to be violent, has to be
Yeah.
alert stuff. So when I talked with Guillermo, he just told me, "Oh yeah, you can disregard that. All that is bullshit." So so yeah, and he told me, well, yeah, there are psychology, but context matters, and context always matters. So the thing I've seen like some. I mean, you must have noticed I'm really big on anime manga. So
Yes.
I really love how in some context, I can't remember right now if it was Utena, Revolutionary Guild Utena, or what got me into the pastels. But in that context, on that series, whenever something really gory, really horrendous was happening, everything went to pastel colors. So you are kind of sitting this idea on the mind of the reader, of the watcher, of the audience, that whenever something goes to pastels, something horrible is going to happen. So pastels are in the psychology. It's like it's really warm. It's really like to evoke this like feeling of being comfortable. But if you use it on the right context and enough times, you can make it as menacing as using really violent colors like red and I don't know, combination of red and black.
Oh yeah, just by sheer Pavlovian association.
Yes.
So I get that. Here are the characters. We've scrolled down to the point where we're meeting Mia, or is it Mia or Maya?
Mia.
Mia. Okay.
Yeah.
And we know that she's the vessel. She's the one who's cheering the eldritch god on. Yes, kill more, so I can see mom and daddy.
Yeah.
And here's the Dix-Nuit. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's 19 on French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the god killer.
Yes, one of the god killers.
So is he a human, or is he another sort of an eldritch force himself?
Well, I'm not gonna reveal what he is, but there's some. These guys are kind of like the defenders of the universe. They are called the Abyssal Hunter Society. They are these overpowered beings. If you are familiar with some properties like Warhammer 40k, there are these guys called the Primarchs, which are kind of like genetically, like Captain America, but if he were like a real man. So Captain America don't ride like a super soldier, genetically enhanced super soldier, which are basically demigods that are fighting aliens, right? So
Right.
Dix-Nuff, it's one of the 20. I'm doing a direct analogy with the 40k universe. There are like 20 Primarchs, and I will have 20 of these god killers. And this is the 19th member, Dix-Nuff. And Dix-Nuff, I choose that name because I really love one anime in particular called Gunbusters and Diebusters, and one of the robots on one of the mechas, it's called Dix-Nuff, and that's one of my favorite of all times. So I try to mix them all together and put this guy. He's gonna be this really badass in the story. And the thing with him is that he's a protector of the universe, so he wants to keep all living forms in the universe safe from these eldritch gods. But he comes into a conflict when he meets Maya, because Mia, it's Mia. She is she's still a living being, but she has this eldritch god inside of her. So what Dick Snoof is gonna do in this, what is gonna be, it's gonna be kind of this mentor figure for her, like if he wants her to leave, but and kind of train her to have these eldritch powers in check. But if she messes out, he will come back and kill her.
Right. And I'm guessing all the other Abyssal Hunters are also numbered. Heroinberg's asking if the final member of the society is called Dinked.
Yeah, Bing. Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to mix up the names of the Abyssal Hunter Society. They're gonna be all called by number, but in different languages. So,
okay.
yeah. So Dick Snoof. Yeah, it's French, but I don't know. Maybe like first one. The first will it's gonna be called Ichi, like first in Japanese, and I'm gonna see what names looks cool in which language. So I'm looking into Russian for some, for and looking into a lot of languages to see what fits the character and what sounds cooler.
And don't go German. They get too long. I mean,
Oh yeah,
you're like Einanzwanzig. That's 21.
Yes.
All right, so and we've already looked at the other books that you've done here, so we'll pass that by here because they're in these other things. Other than to point out that that it's a lot of pages, 160 pages for my 8-bit story, 90 pages for Egoista. You can't get this one anymore. That was 280 pages. My God.
Yes.
And then in here, of course, the tiers all over again. $10 for a PDF, 80-page PDF. Did I say that right? Is it 80 or is it 60? I don't remember this one now.
It's 80, but if we reach the stretch goals, I'm gonna go for 120.
Oh well, there's going to be more pages in this. This is going to be a big book.
Yes.
Get it printed for 25. Get it along with 8-bit Lumina for 40. Get it with Egoista for 50. I mean, this is going to weigh about 17 pounds.
Yes.
By the time it's packed up for $50 worth of story here. Plus, you'll get the digital version so you can take with you anywhere you want to go. No longer available. You need to put like a great big old sold out.
Yeah, sold out. Yeah, I haven't done that, but yeah. And there's the add-ons.
Yeah, let's take a look at these add-ons here. That's what I was trying to get down here too. So, wow, look at this. This can be some original art. If you want Jose Garcia original art, folks, this is the way to get it. $25, you can get this sketch card. This is Mia, right?
Yes, and yeah, that's Mia, and that's 6 by 5 inches, so it's bigger than a sketch card, way bigger.
Oh yeah, that is because here's the dimensions of a card, and then this is going on about above and beyond it. Or you can get so you can get a sketch card or a commission sketch card. Now what is the differentiation here?
In the first sketch card, you will get a random Lumina box character. So you will get Eldritch God, Mia, Dick Snoof, and I will be doing this daily. So I will put them randomly on the packages. But with the commission sketch card, you can commission any character you like from anywhere you like. So if you have your own character and you want me to draw it, there's gonna cost you like $50. I'm just putting this price a little bit higher because it's gonna be it takes more work to put myself in contact with the backers and ask them for references, and and some people might not respond as soon as others. So so if you want any of your characters or somebody else's, if you want to I don't know, give a gift to someone, like, I commissioned this original cool art for you, you can do this. It's been like 14 years, maybe 12 years. Sorry, yeah, 12 years since I've gone digital. So this is the rare occasion where I will be drawing like a caveman in paper and ink.
Well, it doesn't look like it's a skill you forget how to do, because these look gorgeous here. I mean, I would think that if I started using like digital tools for almost 20 years, that I'd pick up a pencil and be like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And be pressing too hard, it'd go off in other directions. A pencil lead would be like that fourth wheel on the shopping cart that always wants to go to the parking lot when you're trying to go down the grocery aisle.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Spinning on it. So this is this very lean campaign. Like you said, it's very bare bones. It's 3 tiers, and all they are is basically the book, some more books, and even more books. That's discounting the digital only. So there's basically 4 tiers, and 2 add-ons. A random card from the book or a card of your choice. I don't know who this guy is here. He looks familiar.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
Ribbit. And the team is you.
Oh, yep. Yeah, basically me. I do everything. I'm gonna do everything. I draw, I write, I color, I do lettering. I did my animation for my trailer. I did all the graphic design for the campaign. I will be personally responding to emails until I get help from my girlfriend. She's an animator, and she's closing a project. So after that, she will be helping me managing the campaign. But for the first 2 weeks, I will be doing all this alone, and I'm doing all the promo. So it's I told you before the stream I was a little tired, but I don't mind. I don't mind it because I'm really excited to get all these cool stories to you. And if you don't mind, I have sent you a link on the private chat, because if we reach our stretch goals, I will be doing another book with concept art of this book. These are the first attempts of this project. I'm an art teacher, so I came up with the Lumina box concept while I was teaching storyboard classes in Mexico. Everything I was learning at Dreamworks, I brought it to Mexico at a cheaper, accessible price, because not everyone can go to art school in the US. It's super expensive going, studying abroad. Yeah. So I am a teacher. I did some teaching on Dreamworks too. So we were doing these storyboard classes, this course that was, I believe it was 6 months, and I was showing them how to do the, pre-production from doing a short, how to animate, and how to do cuts, and all this kind of stuff. So we needed a character, we needed a setting, a setup. So in the class, we were, just when we have to touch the subject of character design, I told them, all the guys, like, so what do you want me to draw? And they were starting to put this random idea. So I have these random words like eldritch, like bounty hunter, like relics, like and all this kind of like fights and stuff. So we came up in the spot with all of this, and in class I have it all in video. We designed it with instructions. We designed the character. We made a lot of variations from the silhouette to make it a cool silhouette. And if you go scroll down, we even made some of the we made some color palettes. We made some. She will eventually grow up and have this motorcycle, and that's how we were doing all of this in class. So yeah, I will be putting all of this, plus the other stuff that it's not up there. I might be able to put some kind of like notes around them, telling them how it came about and stuff. So if the campaign goes really well at the beginning of the second 30 days, I will add this as another book. to the campaign. I'm still talking to some of the other creators, other indie creators, whether I should charge for this or give them as a stretch goal. I don't. Right now, I don't really know, but I'm leaning towards maybe just doing a perk. If you just want the concept art book, maybe you can get it for I don't know, $10 to $15. I don't know, and maybe $5 shipping or something. So yeah, so it can give another breath of life to the campaign, or you know.
Yeah. Now, this is the stuff that George Peter Gatzis is always saying that people need to give to him, because he does 3D prints of characters. He's like, I want full rotation, and this is like, 3 degrees of rotation every time it turns around, which gets you this really smooth animation here. I find it fascinating that you're a teacher. You're the second person I've run into in the last 2 weeks or so that is an art teacher who teaches animation to students. I'm in the mountains of Arkansas here, and it's like very long way between places, and it's a tourist kind of area.
Yeah, for sure.
I just stopped in a local candy store because I was intrigued by the homemade chocolates. He's out in the middle of nowhere. How much candy can he sell? But he was doing traffic every time I drove by. And I walked in, there's these animation cells on the wall. And it turns out that the guy who, the second generation of the store, it's in its 4th generation now of owners. He's 83 years old, and he taught high school in the 70s, art at high school levels. And he was the only one teaching animation at the high school level in the world. To raise money for the art class, because they had like 3 cents a day for supplies. So he was he had all the original cells. He took me in his studio. We did an interview. It's on our channel. His name is Martin Greer.
Nice.
Dr. Greer, I should say. and you might have seen some of his animation, because they did some of the first music videos that were probably ever out. Ray Stevens, who did a lot of novelty songs like The Streak and Guitar Stand, the animated videos for those were done by his class. They got
awesome.
Ray Stevens' permission, and that's how they made money to buy art supplies for the class.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
So he went on about we had to time it to the music, and 1/24 of a second for every frame. I'm like, I've heard all this before. So yeah, this will look very cool in like an add-on book, $15 art book, I would say. Just to get the notes and
yes.
I love these motorcycle designs. So this is going to go from her being a 5-year-old to being a grown-up somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I'm doing this story as arcs. Every arc has like 3 books. There's gonna be 3 books to complete an arc, and this is the first, the volume 1. This is the first book. So book 2 and 3, they complete the first arc, which is the origins of Mia and her relationship to Dick Snoof. And after that, there's a time skip on the second arc when Dick Snoof has left her to her own devices, somewhere between the time skip, and she becomes this kind of bounty hunter. She has this little patch because when she takes that off, she had the eye of the eldritch god that can see her. She still haven't been able to tame it by that time. So she's one of the bigger elements in the story is that later on we're gonna find out more about the universe because there are some other stuff. There are some factions out there. There's the eldritch god. There's the Abyssal Hunter Society, and there are the vessels of the gods that are called the Luminas. And Mia is a Lumina, and she doesn't know what a Lumina is and what their purposes is besides just birthing a god, because there's something more. There's something that makes them special, that they didn't they didn't just die when they put the eldritch god inside of her. So the second arc will be exploring all of this. She will be a bounty hunter. She will be trying to get these eldritch artifacts that are hidden within the insides of the eldritch gods, the carcasses of the eldritch gods. And it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a fun story to tell. I have like 4 to 5 arcs written right now, and I'm just dying to draw them.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's a luminous, and if you're like me and you had 3 years of Latin in high school, you understand, a lot of the Romance languages. So I don't speak anything like French or Spanish or any of that, but I recognize words because they're all derived from Latin at some point as the Roman Empire took over. So I'm seeing the title of the book, and I'm seeing like the voice of light or something similar to that. Is that what does the title mean when you came up with it?
Yeah, so I was on Michael Bancroft's stream, and other guys said that he pronounced like Vhox, that in his language is kind of like bridge, and Lumina is kind of like bright, like light. But to be honest, at first I was just like, oh, this sounds like, I know that I want her to be a Lumina, but Vhox just came like, yeah, that sounds cool. But then I was later on, I was just investigating, and I was seeing all the Latin roots and everything, and I found like really cool stuff. So it's gonna have something to do with the ending of the series. So I cannot give much away, but it's gonna be cool when you find out what Lumina Vhox is actually.
All right. Well, I'm going to. I've got to go back to the Indiegogo here for a second. I'm getting a little dizzy watching her spin around there too.
Yeah.
Because I've got the big monitor right next to me. My face is right in it. I'm looking right at it. I'm going to give this a reload here just to see if it helped out any at all here. Because you're only 2 backers away from them. We have a backer.
Yes.
We have 99 backers.
I'm backer away from 100.
Yes, I'm claiming the credit for it. This is our shake and bake moment.
Shake and bake, and I help.
So
nice.
I do that on all the streams. If anybody goes up by 1, I don't care if they came from somebody else's stream. If they did it while I was on talking about it, it's mine.
Guys, let's go for 100. There's
Yes.
only 1 backer away, and you can go digital, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, $10. $10 we get the digital, get you to 100. So heck, I'll probably pick myself up one of these. I'm going to pick one of the big ones though. I want all those pages.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I know how many pages it is, but what is the size of the book? Because you talked about how much you're influenced by manga. Is this an American-sized floppy, or is this more of the digest-sized manga?
This is a regular comic size.
Okay, so sort of like your 8x10 or 7.5 by whatever it is that it really measures up to. All right, so that's going to have, at that many pages, I'm guessing it's going to have to be square bound, not stapled. It won't staple that many.
Yeah, and it's gonna have like this UV spot.
Oh, that's going to look gorgeous.
And that's not gonna be a stretch goal. It's gonna be like standard. That's the way I envision it.
I'm guessing you're going to put it like right here on the title.
Yes,
because that just looks like it's going to light up.
There's a little bit of an echo.
Oh no!
Is it me or?
Oh no, you're coming through very well. You're coming through so clearly I can hear your ceiling fan going around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The echo is gone, bro.
Okay, good. It might have been just an internet thing. Might have been getting a weaker signal, which is a good sign that we need to probably wrap things up because I think we've covered it all. I can't wait to see this one. It's going to be October 2021. Are you confident in that date, or you think that things might stretch on or come in early or what have you?
That's the worst case scenario. I'm gonna be streaming my pages every day on Twitch, on my channel, Jose Garcia Artworks, every day. So I put myself on the spot. So I will finish way before that.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I can't wait to see it. And Jose, I'm just so pleased that you came on our show of all places. I know there's bigger shows out there.
No, thanks for having me, RJ.
But I love having these conversations, and you're just one of these fascinating people that I'm having the privilege of sitting down and speaking with, thanks to having this show and working in this community. And I definitely will recommend your book to everybody who is looking for something unique and different. This is unique and different. This kind of it's almost got a French kind of style to it. Not even French, European. There's a comic strip that shows up in my timeline all the time from the Netherlands.
I work on the French market too.
Okay, well, there you go. You're just getting it from everywhere.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful blend of all kinds of influences here in one thing. And again, I just can't wait to get to it. So with that, I'm going to let you go for the evening, let you rest up for tomorrow night's marathon of streams that you'll have to do.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man.
And everyone in the chat, as always, we appreciate you being here. We don't have a show if you don't come and watch it. And as always,